Jessup Premium Storage, our family-owned company provides a convenient and secure building for all of your storage needs. We now offer outdoor covered parking for that antique car, boat, or RV. Due to our recent expansion, we offer units that range in size from as small as a bedroom closet to as big as a one-car garage. All of our units are inside and climate controlled with 24-hour access and security. Our leases run month to month, so you're not locked into a long-term commitment, giving you the flexibility to move your belongings out the minute you purchase your new home. Stop by today or give us a call, 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage.
We're cool, clean, and secure.
This is Sammy Dixon at the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear. If you haven't had a chance to come see our new state-of-the-art showroom, then there's no better time than right now. While you're here, take advantage of huge savings on new Ford trucks. Get more than $10,000 off on select new F-150s while they last. You must hurry. They're going fast. Over $10,000 off on the best-selling truck in America for 39 straight years. You can also take advantage of money-saving low interest rates on new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Our new, bigger showroom means more inventory, and that means bigger savings for you. Come to the house at Good Service Bill and buy from Mike Butch Ford, and we'll give you 5 free oil changes while in 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty.
If you're looking for an incredible deal on a new or pre-owned vehicle from the dealer who has always put you first, stop the search. Call the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear.
This is Sammy Dixon saying thank you. Thank you very much for your business.
Good morning. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 in your FM dial, 8 o'clock on this Monday morning, the second day of May. Currently, we have 71 degrees here in southeast Georgia, getting up to around 88 today. Variable cloudiness today with a 30% chance of showers. The Ottawa River levels at 8.2 feet and just barely falling. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear, by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, and by Parker Insurance and Realty on Macon Street in downtown Jessup. And Bob, we got some very special guests in this morning here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show.
Yeah, we got a candidate for state Senate seat 19, Galveston, but he also got a special guest with him, Senator McCoon from Columbus, Georgia. Again, a lot's been written and said about the veto by the governor at the end of the legislative session on the Georgia Religious Freedom Bill, and one of the men who helped sponsor that bill was here in the studios with us, Mr. McCoon. So, first of all, a lot of people don't know about the bill itself, so just talk about the bill, what it would have meant for the state of Georgia, and why you helped sponsor it.
Sure. So most of the states around the country have passed this law, which basically says if I have a claim against the government where the government's done something to interfere with my religious freedom, that I get the same treatment by a court if I file against the state or local government that I do against the federal government. Right now in Georgia, our law is set up to where an inmate in a federal prison has greater protection of his religious freedom than you or I do from the state or local government. So we wanted to try to solve that problem, and then there was legislation added to the bill at the end that would have also given us protections having to do with the Supreme Court decision redefining marriage, making sure that churches are going to keep their tax exemptions, making sure that religious schools won't lose their accreditation, making sure that people who have licensed employment through the state, licensed counselors and so on, won't lose that because of their sincerely held religious beliefs. So those are some of the things the bill would have done.
Senator, why don't you tell us, where you're from and a little bit about yourself and how long you've been a senator, just a little bit about, so folks out there will have an idea of who you are.
Sure. So I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I was born and raised in that area, went off to college and law school, came back home. I've been practicing law there for the last 12 years now, and I've been involved in and around Republican politics for a long time. I was a county party chairman there, ran for state senate in 2010. I've been reelected in 2012 and 2014, and I'm on the ballot again this year.
Okay, and your full name, I know you're Senator Josh...
I'm sorry, Josh McCoon.
Josh McCoon, and you were the sponsor of this bill that got vetoed by the governor, right?
Well, the bill that I introduced in 2014, we reintroduced it in 2015. We actually had a House bill that came over to the Senate, but I have been one of the primary folks pushing for this type legislation.
Okay.
It passed both in the House and the Senate. we had our post-legislative forum here by the chamber. All our legislators spoke against the governor vetoing it. And the question I asked is, why did they think the governor vetoed it? I didn't really get an answer to that. Why do you think the governor vetoed the bill? Did he fold under pressure with these big corporations saying they were going to boycott the state of Georgia? Is that why you think he did it?
I think there's no question that the governor was responding to these big corporations that were saying that they were going to leave Georgia, many in the entertainment business.
Like Disney.
And it's ironic because almost every one of these businesses does businesses in countries with real anti-gay laws. I think it's hilarious, the notion that because we protect our people's freedom, that somehow makes us anti-business. When Disney, Salesforce, these other companies, they do business with South Asian countries and Middle Eastern countries where being gay is a capital offense. You'd be executed, caned, imprisoned. They're happy to make money in all of those countries, and yet they're going to question why we would pass a law here in Georgia mirroring laws passed in 31 other states. I think it's just the height of hypocrisy on the part of some in the business community.
Why do you think they get so upset about that and want to boycott a state and lose sales in that particular state?
So I think it's all about really cheap public relations on the part of some of these corporations. They want to come out and stand for so-called inclusion and tolerance. And so they issue these breathless press releases about how terrible these bills are without even having taken the time to read or understand them. And then it creates this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, really. And what's so sad about it to me is again, we have the overwhelming will of the people of this state. It's clear. I mean, you talk to elected representatives, they've heard from the folks. We know what people want us to do. And yet we're allowing out-of-state CEOs to determine the legislative agenda, and that's just wrong.
And what would this bill, if the governor hadn't vetoed it, what would it done for the businesses and average Georgians here in our state?
Well, it would have made sure first and foremost that if you had a conflict with state or local government, that you would have the highest possible level of legal protection of your religious freedom. People say, well, we don't have that problem. We're in the Bible Belt. Some people say Georgia's the buckle on the Bible Belt. But, we've had a lot of problems right here in our own state. Savannah State University, we had a Christian student organization kicked off of campus for holding a foot washing ceremony. We had a child at Sutton Middle School who simply wanted to be able to read the Bible in a classroom after school. First, the school administrator said you couldn't do it. Then they said, well, we'll let you do it if you pay us rent. We've had all kinds of terrible cases. Chastity High School football team being told you can't have scripture alongside other inspirational quotes in the playbook. And it's really been a matter of life and death in some places. Kansas also did not have this law on the books. And a lady there who's a Jehovah's Witness was denied life-saving medical treatment simply because she wanted an accommodation made for her religious faith. And she wound up dying for her faith in 2012 in the United States of America. These things should not be happening. And it would be very simple for us to provide the same protections for our citizens that people all around the country already have.
Why do you think the Muslims in this country seem to get more protection than Christians do?
I think because for a lot of people, they think that the highest principle that government ought to be organized around is we can't do anything that somebody might find offensive. We're getting away from looking at the Bill of Rights and looking from core American values to just a politically correct culture at all costs. And the only people that it's okay to pick on in this country, in my opinion, are people of sincere faith who are just trying to live out their faith. I mean, they're not trying to strike out or mistreat anybody. They just want to be able to live their life in accordance with their values. And for the government to come in and say you can't do that is just wrong.
Bob?
Again, they said that they're not going to have a special session. Do you think it'll come back again in the next legislative session? Do you think the governor will get enough pressure by the general public to change his mind and not veto it this time?
There's no question this is coming back. I mean, I've heard from people all over my district, frankly, all over the state, who are saying, we want y'all to do this, pass the bill, get something done. Obviously, the governor's vetoed the bill that passed this year. Maybe we wind up passing a series of bills. A lot of those discussions are going on now, but yeah, it'll definitely be back next year.
Speaking of the next session, again, you got a man to your right that's running for state Senate seat 19, and you're here also to endorse him for that campaign. Is that correct?
Yes, I could not more strongly endorse a candidate for state senate than I can Delvis Dutton. A lot of times when people run for the state legislature, they're going to campaign and they're going to tell you what they might do, and you got to kind of just take their word for it. But with Delvis, you got a 4-year record to look at, a voting record, a record of leadership, a record of standing on principle, of being an independent thinker, of being a constitutional conservative. That's the kind of person I want to be serving with in the state senate, and that's why I'm here in Jessup today, because I feel that strongly about it. I'm going to do whatever I can to help Delvis, because we need more independent thinkers, more constitutional conservatives in our General Assembly.
And Delvis, again, you're in a 3-man race, all 3 on the Republican ballot. Early voting starts today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Starts today, and the election's the 24th.
Right. And so then the runoff will be when, if there's a runoff?
I think that's set for the 22nd of July, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's, we may see a runoff, but we're doing everything we can every day to make sure everyone knows who I am and what I've done and what I stand for. So, what Senator McCoon's saying is true. I have told everyone that they won't see anyone question my voting record over 4 years, and that's quite remarkable when you're talking about an elected official who usually gets attacked after 1 year of voting records. I have found along the way one criticism of my voting record that they're communicating that all I do is vote no. So I had someone in Atlanta pull my voting record. I cast 1,208 votes over 4 years, and 22% were no, 88% were yes. But I assure you that every one of those no votes were significant and legitimate for what the legislation was actually going to do for our district.
Well, you made headlines recently. You got into the war words with the senator that is retiring, Senator Tommy Williams. He was upset that something you said about Tillery out there already campaigning after his incident where the man got hit by his vehicle and died. So you want to address that?
Well, look, I've tried to answer anything that's been asked of me. Their media outlet over in Toombs County called me and put me on the spot on a Sunday afternoon. I'm one of these. I'm not going to shy away from you asking me a direct question. I'm going to tell you the honest truth of what I feel. I'm not going to give you a politically correct answer. But asked me, what I thought of some opinions that he had been campaigning too soon. And my thought process was that 72 hours was too soon. I understand Senator Williams wants to maintain that position for Toombs County, and he's supporting one of my opponents. I'm not really, in this running against Senator Williams. He did a great job for this area. What I'm trying to do is give people an option. There's a reason I got in this race. Had I not qualified, they wouldn't have had that option. But anyway, putting my record up and what I've done for the last 6 years of my life, committed to, principles in in the political world, and trying to hold myself to those truths.
Describe the district we're on. Does it extend to?
You've got
a pretty big district.
It is. You've got 11 counties affected by this. Wayne County, the reason I've got the support that I have in Wayne County is because I treated this county as if it were my home for 4 years or 3 years while I represented in Atlanta. It was just a portion of the county, and normally you don't see a lot of support from a partial representative, if you will, but I treated it as my home. But in this district, Wayne County as a whole, there's actually 11 counties: Troutland, Telfair, Wheeler, Montgomery, Jeff Davis, Toombs, Appling, Wayne, Long, the Gum Branch area of Liberty, and the southern part of Tatnall. Politically speaking, when you look at political realities, even if all of Tatnall were in this district, there's not enough votes there for me to just sit back and take care of my political career. I still have to work for all these other counties. I don't have that benefit of having that voting base to protect myself. So politically, I am going to be forced to do what I do by nature anyway, and that is work for each one as if they were my blood kin.
So how you campaign? Are you getting around all these counties? Are you having events at all these counties?
We are. It's I pass myself coming and going, but 341's hot. We're running it pretty hot, but yes, we're getting to all 11 counties. We've got support teams in all these counties. I didn't anticipate this, but when me getting in that 12th district run for Congress, Wayne County was not in that district, but Wayne did support me. But what it did was position me in 8 of these 11 counties to build those teams. Never saw this coming, but it was quite remarkable as how it's playing into this election right now.
And you got, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to end, you know, any debate set up anywhere between the 3 candidates at all? Have you heard of anything like that?
No, I wish. I've tried to encourage that. I would love for that. As y'all know, I'm one that likes to answer questions more than I like to give speeches. But no, I haven't seen any of that. I think they're trying to stay away from, any kind of comparison there.
Any other endorsements besides Mr. McCoon here?
Yeah, I've got probably 9 or 10 out of the House, and I think 4 out of the Senate so far. We've got 3 of the county commissioners here that's publicly endorsed me. I've still got meetings with a couple others, see if we can get all 5 on board with me, because of they know how I treated this county while serving in Atlanta. Getting endorsements, I got a sheriff's over in Wayne County has endorsed me. Law enforcement across the district are showing significant support for our candidacy. So we're doing well. Just got to keep it going until the 24th.
Devil's Dutton, our special guest this morning, candidate for Senate. And so what message are you telling the folks of our district here on what you would do for our district and the campaign issues you're running on?
Number one, they can count on me working for these counties to make sure they know what's happening before it happens. I'm very accessible. I was for 4 years in Atlanta. People had my cell numbers. I've been giving out my cell number. They won't call unless they need me. My last 2 years not being in elected office, if they judge me by the fruit of my labor there, has been transparency in government and trying to awaken people of these communities to what's actually affecting them. So, we'll continue that as well. But in Atlanta, what you can count on is me reading the actual legislation and taking a stance on what it's going to do to this district, to these counties. My learning curve is not going to be in Atlanta on how to affect legislation or who I can trust or who we can count on. We know those processes up there very well to affect legislation for these 11 counties. My learning curve is going to be in many of these counties identifying people of high integrity and character that I can lean on that will set me straight and keep me honest as far as what is necessary for these counties.
That's the reason why you have that pin on there with the tree on there, because you've been involved in I guess, tell us what that campaign that you've been involved with the last couple of years.
Well, I actually was reached out to, it was, after the congressional run that October from Convention of States, and they wanted me to travel around the country testifying on behalf of federalism and issues that the states need to rein in the federal government. The Appeal to Heaven movement we started in 2011 in the Georgia legislature, and we saw it grow. So I saw it as an opportunity for me to go around and do just that, try to awaken these states. We've got to have an awakening in our local communities as well. But I ended up traveling to 29 states, meeting with House and Senate leaders. And I will tell you, I learned a lot that we are doing wrong in Georgia, and I've learned a lot that we're doing extremely well in Georgia. So I hope to put some of those practices, some of those things that I learned, some of those experiences to work in Atlanta. But I will say, talking about the Appeal to Heaven movement, we now have this flag being represented in 18 state legislatures around the country.
And what's the mission of Appeal to Heaven?
Mostly it's voting principle without worrying about the consequences of politics. If you've got, a handful of men or women that are voting their convictions and holding to a fundamental, truth of Christ and Constitution, if we'll get the fundamentals correct, everything else will take care of themselves. But what I realized in Atlanta, the only thing I can contribute to what I've researched in the past, in history and everything else, a small group of committed, principled individuals can affect anything if they'll hold to the truth, if they're willing to speak publicly, if they're willing to tell the truth. This man to my left, when we went in as freshmen, he was in the Senate, I was in the House, was not necessarily his biggest fan, because I'm more introverted, if you will. I'm one-on-one. I like to talk to people. I was, not comfortable speaking to groups or crowds. I was a well driller. But this guy here, never.
Senator McCoon.
Senator McCoon, he was very public, very vocal. And, at first you would say a lot of people, his criticisms was, well, he's grandstanding. But after 4 years of watching him and over the last 6 years, I may not agree with every stance that he may take because he represents an entirely different region of the state. But I will tell you, it's not grandstanding. It's genuine and it's consistent. And he's won my respect as far as the effect that he's had on legislation and policy for the state of Georgia. He believes in his convictions and he follows through with that, no matter what it cost him personally or politically. So it does take time and it does take consistency to win people over to understand that you're actually speaking from your heart and you believe the things that you're doing, that you're not just trying to, speak the rhetoric that everybody wants to hear kind of thing.
What years did you represent Wayne County as state representative?
Well, when I went in and I got elected in 2011 was my first session. I was representing Tatnall, Evans, and Liberty. That following August, we had reapportionment of 2011, and I picked up Wayne County. And honestly, that's when I started, but officially, technically, I guess 2013 on the books, but I absolutely represented this county. The rest
for 4 years, right?
Right.
Okay, 4 years you represented Wayne County before you decided to run for the Congress, and now you're back and you're running for state senate for Tommy Williams, Senator Tommy Williams' position, who's retiring from politics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At least from elected office.
That's right. Yes,
all right. So Dale was Stutton here along with Senator Josh McCoon. And so how are things over in the Columbus area, Senator?
Things are going great. We've got a lot of excitement in our sort of downtown area, a lot of redevelopment there around the university, but really good things happening all over. We kind of on the northern end of my district, we've got the Kia Motors manufacturing facility, which continues to generate additional economic activity. We've got tier 2 and tier 3 automotive suppliers coming and locating. And then in Columbus itself, we're continuing to experience a lot of growth. So we're very blessed and things are going great.
If folks out there, if you haven't gone to Columbus, you need to, because it is a very nice, small city to visit, especially along the riverfront there. You'll enjoy that. And I found out talking on it right now, not only do you have the rapids, you can go whitewater rafting down through Columbus now. Now they remove those dams, but you can also zip line across the Chattahoochee from Georgia over to Alabama, right?
That's exactly right. So a lot of neat things to do. The National Infantry Museum that opened several years ago is continuing to grow. They're adding new exhibits all the time. I tell people, whether you are a veteran or not, you're just interested in the United States Army and infantry in particular, it's a place that would not be out of place on the mall in Washington. It's that quality of a museum. So there are a lot of neat things to see and do out our way.
Yeah, and of course, y'all's economy is based a lot like ours over here. We got Fort Stewart here in our backyard, Fort Benning right there.
That's exactly right.
With thousands and thousands of jobs and also the soldiers there.
I'm kind of curious, Senator, down here we say there's two Georgians, above Macon and below Macon. Do y'all have that in common?
I mean,
you hear that story all the time?
I think over my way, in a lot of different ways, we have Atlanta and the rest of the state. I mean, for us, a lot of that has to do with water and how the Chattahoochee River gets used. But, there's definitely two different ways of thinking. And I've seen that play out in the transportation debate and the debate over religious freedom legislation. A lot of times you can see it play out in that regional context more so even than Republican or Democrat.
Well, and to that note, one thing that I was most pleased to see in my time in the legislature is when you do identify those elected that are, try to hold themselves to principle more than politics, you build those bridges. The battles that we fought for 4 years, the successes that we had when we shouldn't have had them because we, quote unquote, shouldn't have had the political votes. We actually had representatives and senators from that metro area that actually stood with us in way of some of these bills that were going to be detrimental to our area of the state or Columbus area of the state. So you can build those inroads, but it's got to be very consistent. But there are significantly two Georgias. and I think the senator will attest to this, every bill is crafted with the metro area in mind. And it's your job as a representative outside of that world to go in and try to affect it, try to carve out as much as you can to do as much good for your community as you can as far as looking after that community. But you have to have the courage, knowing that you're going to take a political hit, to affect that change, because the leadership are always after doing what they want to do for that metro area.
All right, Delvis, what are you, y'all all dressed up, got your coats on and everything? Y'all going to go around Wayne County some today?
Yes, sir. We'll be at a few different locations today, taking the senator around to introduce him. And then we're trying to, meet with different members of the church community here, and also going over to make a stop in Bagsley, and then we end up in Hazelhurst today. So we're headed up 341, and I hope to get him back in the district for a couple of events that we have coming up.
All right, Senator McCoon, we appreciate you coming in today and visiting with us here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, Bob, any other questions for the senator or for Delvis?
No, for Delvis, early voting starts today. We always ask the candidates if they're going in to vote, why should they vote for Delvis Dutton?
Well, the reason they should vote for me is because they know what they're going to get. I'm a proven commodity. I'm someone that's doing this to work for these counties, to fight for this culture, to strengthen these counties. And, I've got a record of doing that, of not putting myself first or taking care of my own personal interest. So, that record is there, and I'm offering that to these 11 counties. To be there for a voice for each one of these counties. It's a very important race. I think what you have to realize is the way that the makeup of these counties are and the vote totals, whoever's elected in this race right now probably will not ever be removed by the voters. So you have to know who you're electing and why. Am I doing it for political, ambition, personal ambition, or am I doing it to work? My rhetoric matches my record of working for this community. So I'd love for everyone to support us and at least reach out to me if they have any concerns.
All right. Thank y'all very much for coming on. Senator Delvis, hope y'all have a great day here in Wayne County and as you go up Highway 341. All right. We've got more guests coming on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. They'll be on in about a minute.
Can you find it? Can you find it? Coming soon. The Velocity Health and Fitness Big Dog Country Tan. One specially marked tan is hidden in Wayne County, Georgia. If it is retrieved, it will be worth $1,055 from Velocity Health and Fitness and WIFO Big Dog Country. One clue describing the cash cam location will be given every Monday through Friday during the contest. The daily clue will be read on the air at 7:10 a.m., 12:50 p.m., 3:03 p.m., and 5:50 p.m. Each Friday at 5 p.m. or shortly thereafter, the current week's clues will be posted online at VelocityJessup.com and BigDogCountry.com. No purchase necessary. You must be 18 to claim the prize. Complete rules at VelocityJessup.com and BigDogCountry.com. The Velocity Health and Fitness Big Dog Country Test Pack. Coming soon.
Good morning, everyone. We're waking up to partly cloudy skies. On this Monday through the afternoon, it's going to be very warm, humid. We've got a slight chance of an afternoon shower or storm, and highs will be in the mid-80s. Tonight, a few showers linger early on, then lows fall into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, a wet day for sure with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Highs will be in the low 80s. Wednesday, a little more sun, still a stray shower, and highs in the upper 70s. I'm Georgia meteorologist Laura Huckabee in the GNN Weather Center.
105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, world famous Butch and Bob Show for this Monday morning, second day of May. And we've got more guests here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. And let me just get everybody's names here. And we're going to be talking about a Christian rap group called Faith Branded. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And let me get y'all's names once again. Your name again?
Brittany.
Brittany. That's right. Brittany, and you're the one that set all this up, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your name?
Brandon.
Brandon. Brittany, Brandon, and
Lynn.
Lynn. All right. Now, Brittany, you lined all this up here for y'all to be on the Butch and Bob Show. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Christian rap group called Faith Branded.
Well, we're here today to talk about a
a listening party that we're going to be hosting June 4th. It's for the community. It's free. We're going to have free refreshments.
You say it's on June 4th, right?
Yes, sir.
And you say listening party. What do you mean by that?
We're releasing a new album called Transparency, and we just really wanted to have all the community to come out and enjoy and just chill and have fun with us. You know, just listen to music, we'll have refreshments. You know, it's just going to be a good time.
And where's it going to be?
The Hall Richardson Center on 4th Street.
Okay, the Hall Richardson Center,
yes,
indoors there inside the building?
Yes, sir, indoors.
Okay, and on June 4th. Okay, go ahead.
Sir. And that's really all it is. We just kind of wanted to have something for the community and just kind of, it's like an album release party.
Okay.
So that's kind of what it is.
All right, Brandon, tell us a little about your group, how y'all got started, and tell us a little about Christian rap music.
Yes, sir. This is our actual first album. We've done 2 mixtapes prior to this. We first started back in 2013. It was first me and my wife, and we didn't yet have a name, so I guess it wasn't yet faith branded. But 2 of our members aren't here. Porcelain Williams, which is my wife, and Amberlyn Simmons. She is also part of the group, which is Miss Lynn's sister. So it's the 4 of us that's in the group. So we've been doing this, like I said, since 2013. We've performed at the Fireworks in Scriven. We did that twice. And most of our performances have been in a church setting. So with the, I'm sorry, you light threw me off.
Oh, yeah, that's the phone ringing right there, but of course it isn't ringing here. We just have a light flashing. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. But the listening party is, of course, for our new upcoming album, is our first community-oriented session, or I guess you would say performance. We won't be performing there. We will play about 4 or 5 of the new songs, some of our older songs, as well as guest artists, Tahir Dulaney, aka Who Dat, as well as Malik Jones, aka Leak Proof. Those are also
yes, sir. Everybody's got an AKA. Huh? Like
yes,
I'm Charles, but an AKA Butch.
Hey, there you go. Everybody has one. You just didn't know it. Yes, sir. So this is, like I said, this is the first time that we're doing something of this nature. We're releasing the album at the Hall Richardson Center. We will also have them on display for purchase if they would like to do so.
Okay, the albums will be on a CD, and
yes,
and tell us what the name of the album is going to be.
Transparency.
Transparency.
Yes.
Okay. And how many selections will be on the album?
16.
16. Now, who writes y'all songs?
We do.
Y'all do, the 4 members of the group.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And tell us the names once again of the 4 members of the group called Faith Brandon.
I am Brandon Williams, aka Be Smooth.
Okay. Be Smooth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's like I was watching Dances with Wolves over the weekend. With Kevin Costner, and all the Native Americans on there had a running bear or something, an AKA in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
so I guess it's like y'all. Everybody's got an AKA. So you're once again
Be Smooth.
Be Smooth.
Yes,
all right. And who else is a member of the group?
Porcelain Williams. She probably gonna kill me when I get home. But
okay, since
we were dating in high school, and we've been married for almost 6 years now. And since I've known her, I've always called her Tuki. It's a coincidence.
Call her what?
Tuki.
Tuki. Okay.
Yes, sir. And my last name is Williams, so unfortunately, her name is Tuki Williams.
Okay. All right. And the other 2 members?
Brittany.
Brittany's part of the group. Okay.
Yes, sir. And her name is Be Easy.
Be Easy.
And
all right.
Amberlyn Simmons, which is Songbird Simmons.
Okay.
Yes, sir. She raps and sings.
So y'all write your music. How do you write a rap song? Because you got so many words. You don't repeat stuff a lot like you do in regular songs. You got to rhyme just all the time. So how do you do that?
Yes, sir. You pretty much get a storyline. You want to. It's about like a book.
Mm-hmm.
From start to finish, you have you have the plot, the scheme, the whole 9. So you have a story that you want to tell, but yet you have only either 12 bars or 16 bars to tell your version of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at it as chapters. You typically have 3 verses and 2 hooks on a song. So between the 3 or the 4 of us, sometimes we have 4 verses. You tell your chapter of the story, and so on and so forth. And the verse is pretty much, How will you explain the verse, Brittany? You pretty much re-emphasizing what the story is about, and you're elaborating on the story within your verse. And definitely, like you said, we do Christian rap. It's in an untraditional form. So, nevertheless, though, every verse and every song that we do is inspired by God. You know, we want to represent Him to the fullest, and we want to tell His story as well as our story. So how He's working through us to further push the message of Jesus Christ.
Okay. We got Lynn here. Lynn, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, how did you get involved with the group, Faith Branded?
Well, actually, I like to say I'm a faith-branded groupie. I'm definitely like a cheerleader for them. But we actually attend the same church. We attend the Marketplace International Church, and I'm actually putting on an event. It's an annual youth event called the Gathering of the Davids. It's for young adults. It's
called what now?
The Gathering of the Davids.
Gathering of the Davids. Okay. When's that going to be?
That is going to be June 9th, 10th, and 11th.
And that'll be where?
That's going to be at 420 Cedar Street. It used to be the old T.G. Rich school.
Yeah.
So we attend the same church. That's the Marketplace International Church. And on Friday night is our big concert night. And so Faith Brand is going to be performing during that night. So we like to bring in, of course, our local artists as well as artists from the outside. And I'm pretty much here in support of that. But during that time, we basically like to be able to help support a lot of college students that are going back. We do free giveaways. We bring in speakers to basically help the youth be in a positive environment, young adults be in a positive environment. And so Faith Branded are a part of definitely promoting that.
Okay. And that's going to be right after they're releasing of their CD.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And so you're a groupie. You support them, you help them, and then you also put on events also, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm their cheerleader.
Okay. All right. And what we got here?
This is one of our songs. It's called Game Over. It's from our latest album.
Okay.
And it's never been heard. This is the first time it's ever been aired or listened to.
Hand it over here, too. Okay, I can't reach that far. All right, if I do, I'll check myself my headphones here. And this is Faith Branded here. And it's a Christian. I remember when contemporary Christian music came out years and years ago. A lot of the traditionalists, said, that didn't sound like Christian music, it wasn't the hymns and stuff like that. And now you take a look at it, in some churches, that's all they do is contemporary Christian music or rock Christian music. So is rap Christian music? Is it being accepted? How do you find that?
It's about like everything else. Everyone has an opinion, but the biggest thing is as long as it's representing Christ, because everyone doesn't listen to the same type of music, whether it's secular or Christian rap. Some people are more drawn to worship music. Some people are more drawn to rock. Some are drawn to rap. So the main goal and the main purpose is to reach every genre and every type of people.
All right. I can't play all of it. I don't have the time for that, but we're going to play just a small part of this song so people can get an idea of what Faith Branded, a Christian rap group, sounds like. And I think I got everything turned up like I should here. And let's go here.
The best. Swung out it. Into the air to deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. One of the best games you'll ever see. Rise from the dead and win the game.
Y'all ain't ready, but they branded in this thing. Listen closely, let me see you hang. Transparent is the game. Check it, Chipper got a homer with precision aim. Whole crowd screaming, Chip is the mace. Cause his jersey says his name. I do the same thing except I call a different name. MVP, up by 3, bases loaded. Listen closely, you promoted, you demoted. I ain't real no sugarcoat. Check my back, equipment loaded. Baggage full and I ain't told it. You think that I am joking, I'm no joker. Check my face, it is poker. Call me Hoper, only way is up goes Hoper. Do interpret, listen closer. Make this track a little doper. He the closer, 12 over. With his ass, it is over.
Goes the buzzer, y'all know what time it is, it's game over. I done switched sides, you can call it Passover. Red Rover, send Brandon ride over. They thought that I was playing, now they looking for some closure.
Can you tell me what the song's about? It's got a baseball theme there to it.
Yes, sir. The title of the song is Game Over, and pretty much it's playtime is over with the enemy. A lot of times people, or if they have no understanding of the way the spiritual realm works or the way the word of God works, they have a fearful spirit, but fear is not of God. So it's game over for playtime. You don't have to lay back. You don't have to take anything from the enemy. The enemy is under our feet. You know, the peace of God, the love of God crushes him. So we're taking our rightful place as children of God.
Okay. So, all right. Faith Branded Christian Rap Group. Glad that y'all were able to set up and be here on the Butcher Box. I still got y'all low in the background behind us. I know y'all can't hear it, but the song's still going. And y'all got a concert coming up once again on the release of your CD. When?
The release.
What's he asking there?
Yes, sir. The release is going to be June 4th at the Hall Richardson. That is the first time that the whole completed album will be available for purchase. And once again, we'll play about 4 or 5 songs. We still have to go over details amongst ourselves, but we definitely will have an array of music, but it will all be Christian rap, of course, and we'll have 2 separate artists with 2 separate albums as well.
Right. Okay. And you said there's how many songs on the CD again?
16.
16 selections. Okay, and all Christian rap music gets us a way to be able to get God's message out in a format that a lot of young folks and even some adults can identify with and be able to get the message to them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And so look forward to the concert there and the release of that CD. Now, tell us a little about your church. Go ahead, Lynn.
Okay. I'm actually an elder at the Marketplace International Church.
Where is that?
That is at 420 Cedar Street, Jessup, Georgia. And
so where the old TG Rich School is?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so we're non-denominational. So we welcome everybody. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your race, ethnicity. We just love everyone. And our motto is, it's a place where love is king and joy is present. So when you walk in the door, we love to hug. We love to celebrate people. We have all types of individuals there. We do everything from dance, stepping, rap, Faith Branded, performers all the time. So we're just a really lively, free church. We welcome everybody.
Okay, and when are your services there?
We have Tuesday nights at 6:30 p.m. and then Sunday.
Tuesday at 6:30, okay.
And then Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. And the pastors there are Apostle Tony Anthony Simmons and Apostle Cherry Simmons.
All right. Well, glad that y'all came in this morning. We wish y'all the best with the release of your CD. But really like to have y'all back on here again right before your concert to talk about the release of the CD and also talk about the event that you've got coming up there at your church, so we can inform folks more about y'all. I think this is fantastic, and we wish y'all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. The time now is 8:40. We got your weather forecast coming up in just a moment.
Hey everyone, this is Shelby from Davis Clothing in downtown Jessup.
And I'm Jody. We're wanting to invite you to an event that we are hosting on Friday, May 6th from 12 to 6 p.m.
We know how much y'all love the brands Lauren James and Southern Tide, so we are giving you a chance to meet the people behind these awesome brands.
This event will be free admission and there will be refreshments, store prizes, and big giveaways.
So stop by May 6th from 12 to 6 at David's Clothing in downtown Jessup.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more details and prize information.
We'll see you there.
You've heard the old joke, how do we know if a politician is lying? His lips are moving? We have a different choice for state senate. When Blake Tillery ran for Toombs County Commission, he said he would lower taxes. And you know what?